This week on Supercars Talk, it's time for another top 5 list. This time, it's the top 5 drivers from Perkins Engineering. Beginning in 1986 and concluding in 2008, Perkins Engineering had an interesting time as part of the Australian Touring Car Championship. Initially being set up as a one-car operation, Perkins did run teams for the HSV and for Brock in the early years before becoming a full-time team in 1993 and then stepping up to a two-car team at the beginning of 1996. Along the way as well, Perkins was famous for running or building privateer cars out there. For at times a big portion of the field were running around in customer Perkins Engineering cars. The most notable was probably in 1994 when Tony Longhurst and Paul Morris were running around in customer VP Commodores. To compile this list, I have not included any of those drivers that were involved in the HSV or Brock years, although going off the results from those guys, probably not worth even mentioning those years really. They were basically an operation where someone brought along a big bag of cash and Perkins ran a team for them while they were setting up their own kind of thing on the side. Now, as it's become customary with one of these lists, I'll kick it off with the men who nearly made the list. First off is Thomas Mazira, who was with the team from 1990 to 1991 and then 2003 to 2004, just involved in the enduro campaigns. The reason he was considered for this list, if in Bathurst 1990 they didn't get stuck in the pits during a safety car period, they could well have at least been challenging the lead HRT car for the win there. That would have been Thomas Mazira's second win at Bathurst, of course, him winning in 1988 there with Tony Longhurst in the B&H Sierra. In the end, they did finish third, but a podium position, not quite enough to get you on the list. You really need at least one win. And then Thomas did return to the team for 03 and 04 as an enduro driver, but very disappointing results that time around. So once again, not enough to get himself on this list. The other man that nearly made the list was Steve Harrington, who drove for the team in 1992. As amazing as it sounds, only 6 drivers took wins for Perkins Engineering, one of them being Steve Harrington. It was at the 1992 Sandown 500, a very small entry list, we'll say, that day, but it was an epic race and an epic looking car, that 1992 Bob Jane T-Mart's Perkins Engineering car. That's one I really hope they make a model of sometime. And kicking it off, 5th position is Todd Kelly. 2008 was the one and only campaign he had with the team, and 12th in the championship. Not normally enough to get yourself on one of these lists, but believe it or not, Todd was one of only 4 drivers to get a championship win with the team. That was a mega weekend at Symmons Plains towards the end of the year. He won one of the races and finished twice in 3rd position, so on the podium all weekend. The other reason Todd, I suppose, nudges out someone like Steve Harrington is because ultimately the Kellys went on to take over Perkins Engineering and morph it into Kelly Racing the next year, which now continues on as Grove Racing. So there's a little bit of legacy there, plus that one magical weekend at Symmons Plains in 2008. Coming in number 4 is Stephen Richards, who was with the team from 2002 to 2006. Arguably 2005 was his best campaign. He took 2 wins and 9 other podiums on his way to 7th in the championship. Other years though, he had better results in the championship. 6th in 2002 and 2003, 5th in 2004, and then he was 7th in 05 and 06. He was a man of consistency more than outright pace in those championships. His Bathurst results weren't bad, not the highest of highs, but 2nd in 02, partnering Ingall. He was 4th in 2003 2003 with Larry himself, and 5th with Paul Dumbrell in 2005. Once again, a man of consistency, and that's probably why he had such a long career and took out quite a few Bathurst wins over the years. Coming in 3rd position is Gregg Hansford, who was with the team from 1993 to 1995. Joined the team in 93 for the Enduro campaigns. It was a very well-timed joining for the former motorcycle racer. Although they had a DNF at Sandown, there was that epic Bathurst win where they battled the Mark Scaife and Jim Richards, Gibson Motorsport, Commodore, all day long, and eventually took the win there. 1994 wasn't quite as successful, but they still ended up on the podium in 3rd place. There was a plan to run 2 cars in 1995. Larry was very reluctant to do this, but had run a 2nd car at the Winfield Triple Challenge early in the year for Gregg. He finished 7th in that event, but unfortunately Gregg had a fatal incident in a Super Touring race at the start of 1995, and unfortunately that was the end of his time with us and with Perkins Engineering. In 2nd position, Russell Ingall. 1995 to 2002. Larry needed a new co-driver after Gregg Hansford's passing, and Russell Ingall was the man chosen to do the job. They finished 5th at Sandown that year and then took out the 1000 at Bathurst. Pretty good running in that time for Larry. Perkins expanded the team finally to 2 cars in 1996 for Mr. Ingall. This led to a very impressive run of championship results. Over the 7 years he was with the team, it was 6th, 3rd, 2nd, 8th, 2nd and 9th. Unfortunately, this wasn't enough for Ingall to hang around with the team. He desperately wanted to win that championship and moved over to the Stone Brothers for 2003. Of course, with his time with the team and why he's 2nd in the list, 2 Bathurst wins, 95 and 97, Sandown 500 win, 1998, Queensland 500 win, 1999, and of course those are 2nd place is in the championship 3 times, and he also finished 2nd place at Bathurst in 1998 and 2002 with the team. That's definitely enough to get you 2nd in this list. Coming in 1st, no surprises here, the man, the myth, the legend, Larry Perkins. Not only one of my favourite drivers ever, just amazing. Mostly he will be remembered for his 3 Bathurst wins with the team. Of course, he did have 3 previous wins with Peter Brock early on in his touring car career. He did also have 2 wins in the Sandown 500, that one with Steve Harrington and Russell Ingall, and then obviously the Queensland 500 win there with Russell Ingall as well. Larry was a man who didn't care about the championship, but from 1994 to 1998, listen to these results of the championship. 4th, 4th, 5th, 5th, and then 4th. That's pretty impressive for someone who doesn't care about the championship, isn't it? There's not much more you can say about the bloke. I mean, not only was he building the cars, engineering them, he was the front of the team, he was also building half the privateer cars out in the field at that time as well. He's just a champion of the sport and definitely deserves to be number 1 on this list. So that's my list of top 5 Perkins Engineering drivers over the years. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree. Did I miss anyone? I don't think I did this time. It's a very short list of people who were successful with this team. But anyway, also let me know which team you'd like me to cover off next. Until next time, I'm still Dave, and I'll catch you later.